Hi and welcome to Geekology. I'm David.
I'm Sven.
And tonight, Transformers! Yeah, it's been a while since we did one of these, Sven.
Yeah, that's because of...
I thought I'd got away without having to do any of these, Sven.
Well, the only reason for that is because I've been having problems with Hachette. And I've been having problems with Royal Mail. To the point where I finally got issues 13, 14, 15 and 16 turn up, and then 17 and 18 turned up this morning. So I thought, sod it, let's get them all done. Issue 13 is in fact volume 59.
I think it's fun that they do that.
To be honest, with the way that the customer service from Hachette has been, I'm contemplating cancelling and ordering from Forbidden Planet or something, because
might just be cut out the hassle.
Yeah. But there we go.
I've never actually dealt with Hachette, so
I wouldn't recommend it. They would make Eagle Moss look like angels.
To be brutally honest, I like Eagle Moss's customer care when you eventually get through to it.
When you eventually get through to it. I've been trying for the last 2 weeks to get hold of them because I've double charged one of my orders. To the point where I've had to report them to the credit card company.
You're the one who's always banging on to me about emailing them rather than doing the phone line, because I prefer they bounced it.
Yeah. And then I tried contacting them through the Facebook page.
Yeah, because they're really responsive on that.
Yeah,
no.
It might be because the people responsible for that have been at New York Comic Con last weekend, but that doesn't explain a week ago.
Prepare them for New York.
I've resent the email because I couldn't get through any other way. And when you spent several occasions trying to get through on the phone, you've been on hold for 30 minutes. They're taking the mick.
Did you try going through on the Star Trek line?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the mistake. Go through on one of the other lines and then they'll pull up the Star Trek data. The Doctor Who line's normally quite clear.
Okay. That's nice to know.
Somebody else told me and it works a treat. So.
Do you know about the stuff that was unveiled at Comic Con?
I've been rather busy this week.
The Battlestar Galactica series is going ahead.
Saw the pictures.
And the Star Trek Bust series is apparently going ahead.
Didn't see the pictures. Weird.
No, there was no pictures yet, but they basically they've done a Batman animated series version, and everybody's been going, "That's really, really nice." They do Trek like that, that'll work. And so I'm thinking, animated characters versus real life doesn't necessarily come out as good. I'm thinking, but we'll see.
Do you know what would be?
Issue 1 will probably be $1.99. We'll grab issue 1. We'll laugh at it. We're not getting any more.
You know what? The Bus series won't work for me in any way unless they did the animated Bus series. At which point, yeah, you know what?
You'll have them all.
I like that. I'd like the animated Bus series. That could
you just want an MRS.
Yes.
And the bust.
Yeah. So Transformers stuff.
Transformers, yes. Issue 13.
Hang on. Let me. Okay. I'm sitting comfortably. I'm
bloody rude. Volume 59, which is issue 13, is Dark Cybertron Part 1, which was a crossover event between the two main mastheads of the IDW comic universe. And has things like, it's G1, but Rat Trap has turned up, so he's going to die. Yeah. The artwork's actually quite nice on this compared with some of the other stuff I've seen.
You notice that the way they do the printing of the colour makes it look like some of them have got white pages and some of them look like they have silver.
I think they're slightly colour coded.
I like that. That's a weird way of colour coding.
Oh yes. There's Armaderish Starscream and so on and so forth. Basically, if I remember rightly, Dark Cybertron is basically
where they haven't paid the power bill?
Ish. I think Shockwave's doing something weird and all sorts of things going on. It's I've not read it. This is the thing, is I don't know this very well at all. Again,
is this the stage where let's do Transformer comic reviews from ones you've not actually Red might suffer from the review part of this.
Well, it's an unboxing, let's be honest.
It's an unboxing. It's an unwrapping.
It's unwrapping. They came out of boxes, shut up. It's just they're off out of the box when they're on the table. It's fine.
Okay.
Alright.
So long as some of the planning really nice. Sticking to it.
But again, when I do read this, I've got a horrible feeling it's going to not gel very well because I have problems with the IDW universe. But I will try.
See, I thought it wouldn't gel well because it's non-absorbent.
Anyway.
Sven, what's dry? What is wet as it gets drier? A towel.
But it's not getting drier.
It's drying you.
But you're getting drier, not it.
Yeah.
That's
I'll put that punchline up. Still have another edit. I want another edit of that.
That's poor grammar.
Hang on, I'm going to try this again. Sven, what is wet as it's drying?
Everything? Because otherwise it would have to start dry.
No.
If it starts off wet and it's getting drier.
No, as it is drying. It is I'm going to have one more.
Get this right.
3, 2. Okay, Sven, what gets wetter as it is drying? A towel.
But it's not drying.
It is drying. It's drying
getting
you,
wetter.
it's drying an item, therefore it is getting wetter.
Can I interest you in a grammar school? Anyway, some of the covers are quite nice, that's quite cool. Even if it's a weird version of Rodimus. Yes, I will attempt to get into this. I really will, because for a start,
well, you paid for it would be a good indicator as well. You should.
Yeah. Yes, and starting to mix different generations into G1, which is actually quite cool, to be fair. But there we go. Right. So
that's our comprehensive review of issue 13. Now going on to our comprehensive review of issue 14.
Which is
1. And smells nice.
That's a spicy meatball. Being this is volume 1.
That is volume 1.
I'm going to know it backwards.
Well, that's handy because I don't know it forward. So.
Okay, well.
Ooh.
What?
Bad artwork.
Very early American Transformers comic.
Very bad artwork.
So it's basically got a bit of background on Bob Budiansky, but that's the original. This is the start of the comic.
Oh, wow, that's bad.
Yeah. But seminal in writing. But Megatron looks really weird. And
yeah, it looks like he's wearing sunglasses. Oh, gee.
It's like we're drawing the toys. They're literally drawing toys.
They did not stretch far with this, did they?
Well, the animation models hadn't been done yet for the TV show, so they literally went with the toys.
Well, technically that makes sense.
Yeah. So we got even Optimus's trailer bot.
Nice.
As part of the arc. So that's quite cool. But as we're going along, you know, the colouring's not even quite right because it's the American comic. They never got the colouring particularly brilliant in there. But the writing is there. The important thing is there's a story.
So is Soundwave actually a Walkman in this? Nobody had an issue with this 6 foot something robot becoming
60 foot.
60 foot robot becoming a Walkman.
No. Mass shifting. It's all fine. Megatron was turning into a handheld gun. Soundwave's the least of your problems. I mean, it is what it is. It's very early. It's very early. And then Spider-Man turns up.
And you know what? I really want to rip you for it, but you've seen some of the stuff I read, so I can't.
Secret War Spider-Man. Black costume. Comes in and starts. He even tries to tie up Megatron with webbing. Yeah, that works
That's
well.
a crossover I did not know existed.
Now you do, and knowing is half the
Half
battle.
the battle.
But yeah, we have the battle between the Autobots and Decepticons. The Autobots win, and then along comes Shockwave and basically blows them all to hell. Then suddenly, in the British comic, we went from this American artwork.
Yeah. Uber not impressed.
To... And that's the alternative ending that was put into one. This alternative ending to the story only ever, I think, appeared in the British comics and the collected comics and the complete works, as it was called. It's actually... Yeah.
Okay.
See that? That's actually...
Right.
It's just that panel where Shockwave blasts through the ceiling doesn't happen.
Oh, okay.
And they basically, this is artwork that was put in over the top. Now you'll notice this style of Optimus there doesn't match in.
No, it doesn't. The eyes are wrong.
Yeah. But then in the British comic, we went from that
to... It's not impressive.
And then there was a massive gap between this and the next American story where we got this.
See, now that's better. That's what I expected.
Which is a little bit more glorious.
Yeah. Right down to the coloration being better.
And this is Man of Iron.
See, detail.
Yeah. Which is absolutely good. I mean, look, it's very toy based, but it works.
Yeah, that looks 100 times better than the panels previous.
I mean, look at that.
Was the style of writing changed as well?
Oh yeah, because it was being written in the UK rather than in the States.
Okay.
So you can tell. I mean, they're fighting over the top of a British castle, and the fact that an Autobot shuttle is underneath the castle and has been lying there for hundreds of years. It was a rescue ship, and it's glorious. It's absolutely gorgeous. If the American comic looked like that to start with, I kind of wonder if the cartoon wouldn't have taken quite so much of a lead in people's hearts over in the States. The fact that they even designed an Autobot shuttle specifically for the British comics that was never seen anywhere else.
Did they ever do the toy of that one?
No. And then again, we still weren't at the position where the American comic was available to print, so we had another British story called Enemy Within, where again you got a very toy Megatron.
Yeah. Weird eyes.
Yeah. Different artist, obviously, from Man of Iron. But this is one where basically two of the characters have changed, have basically rejected their side, which is quite cool. Ravage, very toy Ravage. There's one scene in here which is really cool, which is there's a character called Red Alert.
Yes, you quote him frequently.
Yeah, shows up. Who basically didn't arrive in the comics again for a very, very long time. So the question is, what happened to him? So here he is, he's getting ready for Brawn, who's been zapped by this, whose personality is basically altered. And he basically thumps Brawn out. And that's the last we see of him for 100 issues. It's just like, okay, so he's been on the arc all along.
He needed a little nap.
He's been on the arc all along, and then when we see him again, he's actually in the far future. It's bizarre. It's such a shame, especially with the way he was portrayed in the cartoon series. Was completely the antithesis of his tech spec.
Biospec.
Yeah. So Enemy Within, another British story, which was brilliant.
You're not that you are biased in any way, shape or form to the British comics.
British comics. So yeah, that's quite cool. And then this should be followed by Raiders of the Last Ark.
You know what's really weird? I was at a comic event the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody who collects Alien comics. And we were just talking about our favourite storylines and...
Auntie. The Autobot computer and from
I remember you telling me about that. We were saying our favourite ones, and I said, well, mine are the Dark Horse reprints.
Yeah.
And he looked at me very strange. He went, Dark Horse reprints? Why on earth? What on earth? And he didn't realise that the Alien comics have been reprinted by Marvel.
Oh, okay.
What it was, the Dark Horse. It was all the Dark Horse, perfect, page to page.
Yeah.
Just reprinted in Marvel, but it went from being comic book size to being English full size. And I was like, no, the extra size really improves it. So I ruined his comic collecting. He wants now to go out and collect all of those. And I said, yeah, it's really funny because I had all the Dark Horse ones, but I'm still tracking down.
Yeah.
It's funny how you get so attached to the English way of doing things.
Well, yeah. We would do, wouldn't we? That's what we grew up with.
Well, no, because I never read those to begin with. I read the.
But I mean, well, okay. Yeah, but other people. Yeah, it's like, I'm just trying to see if there's an image of issue 1's front cover from the States in here. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
American issue 1?
Yeah.
Do you know what the British issue 1 looks like?
Go on. Yeah.
Yeah, slight difference.
Smidge.
Yeah. So, yeah, the cover gallery, so that's glorious. Yeah, the original G1 comic is completely my G1, so nothing's ever going to compare with it because it's my G1. But I'll try and be as objective as I can. Issue 15, what volume is that?
That is volume 26.
Okay, so Dreamwave series. So I'm going to hate the artwork because the style they put together for Pat Lee's Dreamwave stuff was weird. Basically, the Optimus has a very weird chest thing going on and all this kind of stuff.
Considering the American print I've just seen in this.
This is a much later comic, and you have things like this going on.
Did he later go on to do the Ladybird books?
No, Ladybird books predate this by like 20 years. Or 15.
There's a comment about how childish that
I know.
is. Which isn't actually fair, because I thought the Ladybird books were alright.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, actually... Okay, it's a little over-stylised, but...
Yeah.
Colour's nice.
And this is where this whole thing where Optimus had grills and his cheeks put in on the panels on the side of his face, and his grills put in which were never there originally, and the whole
but evolving your character isn't necessarily
evolving the character, yes, but evolving the way his face is. It's not like he's got a new body, yes, but it's supposed to be the same body. So it seems a bit weird.
It's just the way we interpret things.
Yes, this is true. There's Grimlock turning up. The artwork's okay, I guess, but it's never my favourite. Simply because they seem to have overemphasised what's going on in chest plates and things like that. I think again you have an awful lot of influence from the original cartoon series on this rather than the comic series. Which always irritates me when we're looking at a comic. It should be in keeping with comics unless it's specifically to do with the G1 TV show, I would have thought. But yeah, this is War and Peace, so something Shockwave's up to something. Shockwave's always up to something because this is where we start exploring the idea that Shockwave is a scientist. And starting experimenting on characters, so he creates the triple changes. This is where the idea he had anything to do with Dinobots comes in, which was then explored in Fort Cybertron, and so on and so forth. I'm just wondering if this is the story that has one particular, I think it might be, as we're going along. This might be the only story ever written that does a certain thing. I'm trying to remember, there's a Minosaur turning up. Ultra Magnus looks like he's going to have his backside handed to him. So that would make sense. Okay. I mean, you can kind of warm up to the artwork, but some of those parts of it, they don't look like they're anatomically correct.
I've got less of an issue with that than I did issue 1.
Oh well,
the American part of issue 1 anyway.
Yeah. Just going through. I mean,
the chest plate's not nice.
It doesn't look right to me anyway. Maybe I'm just picky. I'm probably very, very picky. go. Is this the one where the thing happens? And a shockwave. Right. So we've got Ultramagnus is down. He's basically deactivated by the looks of things. Optimus is about to get his backside handed to him. And then, if I remember rightly,
any page.
That's Ultramagnus without his armour. It's the only story.
Okay, you ever see him without the armour?
Yeah, and you see him as the White Optimus. He basically then turns up to save Optimus, and it's made clear that they're brothers. They're fuselateral brothers. So, yes, they were made in the same factory kind of thing. It just happens that Ultramagnus was all white and had an extra set of armour set inside. So, yeah, that was quite cool. So I think they made quite a big thing about that whole thing, because it's the only place it's ever happened, so why not make a big thing of it? So yeah, and then a preview volume 2 of the Dreamwave comic. There we go. I did get an awful lot of these comics when they first came out and was quite disappointed with them, to be fair. But it's part of the Complete Generation one, so it's G1 styled, G1 characters. I love that. Magnus coming out of his armour. That's quite cool. So, yeah. There we go. For obvious reasons, I'm preferring that one out of all of them so far. Issue 16 is volume 35. This is IDW from Variety. Yes. It has nails.
Yeah, it was just painful watching you try to do it.
Rude.
Manicure. Much.
What? Just because I know how to cut my toenail, my fingernail.
I should hope you know how to get your toenail. If you're just chewing on them for ages, it
doesn't really work, to be fair. Anyway, here we go, issue 16, which is volume 35, promising. Again, it's quite an early IDW comic. It's one of the ones I've tried to get into and struggled with. I
like IDW artwork.
Yeah,
it tends to be quite good. Nice. The stories are very nice.
I mean, I like this idea of Optimus with the long antenna. I always like that. I prefer that to the short one, which even though it's not really toy accurate.
I like the fact that you can get most of the IDW stuff on digital format. Yeah. Although, ironically, I don't like it digital format. I mean, it's great if you're desperate to read one that you can't get your hands on.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to get into the IDW comics first through the actual physical comics.
Yeah.
And then I managed to humble bundle a load of the digital versions and try to get into that on a tablet. It wasn't working for me. So I'm hoping that when I have a bit more time to read through things, Jetfire, is that this will grab me in this kind of format. Rather than the individual comics. It might be just that it felt a bit broken up, and they are going for a much more epic storytelling, sort of like swathes of story kind of thing, more than traditional comics ever did. There's still things going on that I have to get used to, because it seems to be very out of character for the characters as I know them. And this is the thing, is that I very, 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 very much know them as they were originally. If you see what I mean. So it's a bit jarring when characters start acting in a way that doesn't seem to make sense according to their tech specs, bio profiles, or how they were in the original comic.
Almost like somebody just randomly picks somebody and you'll fit into my storyline.
Yeah, a bit of. I mean, what they do with Prowl in IDW doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But that was actually. What?
I'll bite the bullet. What did they do with Prowl?
They turned him into quite a psychotic character. He does things like implant chips inside Decepticon's head, so if they go out of line by a stone inches a millimetre, he presses a button and the head explodes.
Sounds like a Decepticon-y type of thing to do.
He's an Autobot. He was the Autobot who was Optimus Prime's second in command alongside Jazz at one point. But he's also in the original G1 British comic, bearing in mind who people are writing these.
I have 2 questions now. Right. So he implants these chips into Decepticons.
Well, he arranges to have them implanted. They're basically the Autobot, the new political.
So if they don't act a certain way, boom. Well, not boom anyway. Aren't they the bad guys? Isn't that kind of the point?
The problem is the government that's formed on Cybertron at this point is led by Starscream.
Okay.
Starscream and Bumblebee at one point. Yeah.
It's a really weird pairing for government.
You're beginning to understand how I had a problem getting into this.
Somebody think, oh, I know, we'll get Boris
and they've exiled Optimus.
Okay.
I don't get it. I really struggle when and Jazz has left the Autobots.
Okay.
I struggle. I will get there eventually, hopefully.
Ooh, nice artwork
yeah.
with the Dinobot.
I don't think that's a Dinobot.
It looks like a bleeding Dinobot to me.
Oh, I think that might be Triptychon. Oh, that's definitely Triptychon.
Okay.
Yeah. Great big city former.
It just happens to look like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad I was mistaken that the T-Rex thing is actually a city.
Yeah. Thought you played before the Cybertron and War for Cybertron.
Oh, years ago.
In a galaxy far, far away. Is that Swoop?
I've slept since then. HBO have been bringing out good stuff since then. I only have room for so much crud in my head, and guess what gets pushed out first?
Transformers. What before the Doctor Who gets pushed out? Now I'm just insulted.
No, Doctor Who is before the Transformers stuff. That's it. Way to alienate 3/4 of our fans in 2 easy sentences.
Yeah, well done. Congratulations. I hope you like the Christmas special. Considering it's the first Doctor and the 12th Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah. Working together. Polly's even in it, apparently. So that's quite cool. But yeah, it's going to take me some time to get into this and some effort. And
Grey's Anatomy is really good this season. I'm up to episode 3. Means nothing to him. He's never seen it. It's fantastic.
Oh, I've seen it. I just didn't get into it. But you know what I'm like. I'm very fixed on what I like, to be fair. Hi, I'm Windblade!
I was so going to do a joke then about 14-year-old Scandinavian boys, but I thought better of it.
Yeah, fortunately. What the hell?
You had to hear your previous statement.
Hi, I'm Windblade?
No, prior to that.
Hi, I'm Windblade.
Who's Windblade?
I'm so glad you asked. Windblade is a female transformer that turns into a jet.
Okay.
She's a city speaker.
Okay.
Which means she translates for Metroplex, basically.
Okay.
And she was
I'm very glad he elaborated on
and
that.
she was actually, literally, designed by committee.
Oh no.
There was a series of polls to design a transformer throughout the whole of fandom, and we ended up with this Autobot jet with VTOL capability that's female.
Yeah, because the female, to be fair, the females in Transformers are bad.
Yes, generally. But
so is it better?
Hi, I'm Windblade. You'll see when we get round to watching Combiner Wars.
Oh God, I said I'd do that, didn't I?
Yep. Hi, I'm Windblade. You'll understand why I'm doing that, especially after you've seen the normal version and then the fandom, with the fandom being far superior to the original version. Okay. So that's how there's Windblade. She's got this sort of like Japanese mask thing going on as well.
Okay. I have no particular
design. If you see what I mean. Oh, there we go. Yeah. It's a bit weird.
She has far more. She is very shapely.
Yeah.
For a robot.
Yeah.
Are the male robots in this incarnation as shapely?
No. I prefer.
Why would they? what is the weirdness of your fandom that it does that? That just looks like makeup.
It's not even the fandom. Yeah, quite. I'm like, what the hell? Whereas in RID, which is the current TV show, there's a female character called Strongarm who basically has a female voice. She could be voiced.
See, that works for me because at the end of
it's a robot.
At the end of the day,
why would it have childbearing hips?
Other than the fact that it's nice, females and males of robots would only be a personality difference.
Yes.
The mechanics are all the same because there is no biological function there.
There we are. So it doesn't make.
I mean, you could argue, if you're a sexist pig, that the smaller transformers, you know, sort of your mopeds and your scooters, and those could be female. You know, they are smaller, therefore they are female.
It's not like they say.
But the argument could be reversed as well. And the big ones could be female, and the little bike things could be.
It's not like Michael Bay came along and took RC, Chromia, and Alita 1, the three main characters who were female originally, and then turned them into the Autobot bikes.
I had noticed. That's why I said the bike range.
But that wasn't even the start of it. It was Transformers Cybertron that first introduced RC as a bike. 2
female characters.
Yeah.
Who's the other female character?
I think that might be referred to as Chromia. I can't remember. I've never read this. But I know in the animated things it was basically. I mean, what is going on with this artwork? What is this? What is that?
It's a mess.
Yeah. And then suddenly, what's Waspinator doing?
That's
here?
an insect. So
yeah, Waspinator. What's he doing there?
It's your fan franchise, dude. You tell me. What's Waspinator doing there?
Seriously? I don't know.
Okay, all right. Hang on. To be fair, no, never mind.
Let's not be fair.
That was a really wrong thing to think there.
Now, some copies of this issue were actually misprinted as well.
In what way misprinted?
I'm not sure. They basically stopped sending them out and then sent out the next 2 issues instead of 17 and 18 because of this printing issue. Obviously they must have sorted it out because they started sending them out again, so I'm hoping this hasn't got any issues in it. But I don't get this. No, I just don't. This probably sounds really bad because I'm male and looking at this female character thinking, why? But it just doesn't seem to work.
It would be really bad if I felt that way. My issue has always been with the whole female Transformers, mainly RC, was just the pointlessness of some of the things that storylines.
The fact that she's called RC.
That was quite funny.
The fact that her head looks like it'd been lopped off layer and painted white.
I never understood the concept.
No, I don't get it.
Again, with they are robots.
Now, Strongarm in RID makes sense. She's a cadet in the police. She's quite a strong, bulky-looking robot that just happens to be female. Quite bulky because of what she transforms into.
What does she transform into?
She transforms into a police, sort of like all-terrain prisoner transport type thing.
Okay.
So that makes sense. And the fact that she's a police cadet makes sense.
It would make sense to me if they picked up male and female characteristics on Earth because they're surrounded by biological life forms.
Yeah.
But on the homeworld?
Yeah.
I mean, the world itself is a robot / planet.
Yeah. They don't know that yet.
And the cities are robot /
Yeah, but I just don't understand the design direction I went in for this character on the basis of I don't understand the design that went into Windblade because
somebody was a serious fan of anime.
Oh yeah, certainly, but it was almost as if they designed it to be their girlfriend. You know?
Oh god, I got pictures of fanboys trying to make.
You know what I'm thinking? Toys. Yeah, you know what I'm thinking. I'm just like, don't do that. It's weird. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Anyway, let's
move swiftly on
and move on to something with some decent artwork. So this is the normal Transformers comic issue 35 to 38. That's devastated with Prowl being its head. because Prowl kills one of the parts of Devastator.
I had no
idea.
idea.
Takes
I know that's one of the what's-a-man changes, but other than that...
Yeah, combines.
Were there any aquatic Transformers?
Define aquatic.
Submarines?
Not that I recall. There was Tidal
There was
Wave.
an aircraft carrier, wasn't
It's an
there?
aircraft carrier, yeah, that was Broadside originally, and then there was a character called Tidal Wave who came along in...
See, that makes sense, because you'd need an aircraft carrier for the jet.
Yeah, that would make sense in G1. If they had put an aircraft carrier in G1, that would have made perfect sense.
That would have to have been a really big toy. That would have been quite nice.
The artwork in here is quite cool. I really like the designs on this, but it's what they did with the characters just doesn't sit right. So you end up with Prowl taking command of the Constructicons, which doesn't make any sense to me, but you know, there we go. And then we've got a new version of Galvatron running around, who isn't Megatron.
Okay.
I think we mentioned that before in one of the other reviews, and I just don't get it. But then Galvatron originally was designed to be the City Commander and nothing to do with Megatron. Just happened to have a very similar name. Like Ultra Magnus was the City Commander, and Optimus and Rodimus were supposed to be the overall Autobot leaders.
I'm going to regret this. City Commanders?
Yes. Remember in...
Like City Talkers, yeah?
No, well, kind of. Okay. You remember Transformers the movie?
Yes.
And Ultra Magnus was on Earth, and
yes.
he was in command of Autobot City. Literally, he was the City Commander.
Yeah, he was the City, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So he had command of Metroplex, essentially, who was underneath Autobot City. It's just you never saw him come up in the movie. And it was a bit more well executed in the comics when he was woken up.
Okay.
And he was miffed. Because Quintessence had tried to take over Autobot City. So he got woken up, he's not happy, and starts swatting them like flies. Which I thought was quite funny, to be fair. So yeah, again, it's something I've got to try and get into. I mean, yeah, it's like, are we going to see anybody's head explode? Don't know. So yeah, Devastator ends up going off the rails, and then you end up with...
Why has Megatron got bling across his chest?
Because the original toy did. Okay. Had that wavy, sort of like circly pattern on it. Let's see, right, the Constructicons are decombined, and Prowl gets miffed off with them, and yeah, don't get it. Just don't get it. Windblade, no.
Looks like something like Dolphin Lead.
Yeah.
Now that was a really good anime.
Quite. Hi, Windblade. But there, yeah, because the Windblade character got turned into a toy immediately as part of the Generations line just after Ford Cybertron. And then it's turned up in several forms ever since.
Expensive toy?
It was a deluxe at the time, so if it had been released here, I don't think it was at all, it would have been about 15 quid. And it would have been about 20-25 to get it imported. It's probably a lot cheaper to find these days because people are sick of the character at this point, because they keep churning out versions of the character in different toy lines. I think we're on maybe the second or third Generations version of her,
right.
As well as her turning up in RID twice, and I don't know. Well, there we go. In Titan's Return, I think she's got another major point because it's the Titans, which is basically the cities. Right. Volume 19.
Volume 19.
Was this issue 18?
I don't know, I peeled the sticker off. It would have been the last one in this lot.
Yeah, issue 18 is volume 19, that's what I'm talking about. Right, this is Perchance to Dream, which is primarily, the content of this is going to be British G1 comic. Oh, Bludgeon. And Prowl.
Bludgeon?
Bludgeon. Yes,
he actually has teeth.
Yes.
I mean more than just the generic
that's his
teeth.
Pretender shell.
Okay.
I
know about the Pretenders.
Right, okay, yeah, he has a Pretender shell that is his skeleton in samurai armour, basically.
Okay.
And the character is into Melitarko, which is a Cybertronian martial art, basically. And he carries a sword. He's like an evil samurai.
It's okay. So. Delos informed me all about Ninja World. It's fine.
And we've even got the story of 2 Megatrons in this.
Completely lost it.
2 Megatrons.
You don't know what Dallas is.
Dallas.
Dallas.
No.
It's the corporation that owns Westworld.
Okay. So this is involving some of the British strips that were in black and white originally.
Okay.
So we get
we get coloured versions.
Yeah.
Really cool. Dodgy looking artwork.
Really?
Well, what are those meant to be?
The mechanibals. They're supposed to be balls that go around eating Transformers, basically.
I think there should be a reason behind this, maybe, a smidge.
They're just an alien
comic
race.
relief. They're an alien race of balls that eat Transformers.
Yeah, they eat robots.
So they are also mechanical life forms, not biological life forms. Cannibal mechanicals.
Cannibals?
Cannibals.
Yeah. How does it make sense?
Yeah?
Yeah.
100%. Totally with it.
There we have Thunderwing turning up, who's a mega pretender. So.
Oh yes, he's the great pretender.
So basically, he's in a robot, transforms into a jet. His outer pretender shell turns into a jet, and then the two of them can combine into a mega jet. Basically. And he also happens to end up being in command of Decepticons at one point.
And you never wonder why I look at you in a strange way when you talk to me about Transformers. It never occurs to you that this might be the reason why. No.
So from the Ark, there we go. We've got Power Master Prime running around, a very mythed off Thunderwing trying to attack the Ark. Yeah, fun story. This was essentially backup strip for all intents and purposes. 2 Megatrons, so Ravage suddenly discovers there's 2 Megatrons running around, which is actually
anorexic Megatrons.
Yeah, but it's
that is horrible.
Really?
Yes, really.
Better than the original toy.
I like the original toy for Megatron.
But this was to cover up a massive plot error that had happened between the American and the British comics. Okay. So they'd gone off in 2 different directions, and then suddenly they couldn't make sense.
They couldn't reconcile the storylines.
Yeah. So basically, what they did is they suggested that one of the Megatrons running around is in fact Lord Straxus, who was a tyrant who'd been left in control of Cybertron by the Decepticons. Yeah.
So impersonating
somebody
that's totally failing in their job on Earth really makes sense.
Yeah. And then it basically ended up with the Megatron, who is actually not Megatron, realising that he's a copy and kills himself to allow the other Megatron to live, essentially.
Okay.
And then we've got the only story that Tailgate's ever been in, who was a character who was a mini-bot in 1986. He's only been in this one issue of the British comic. Just
to make sure they could sell the toy legitimately.
Yeah. Except that I think this came out several years after they stopped making him.
Okay.
And basically it's where they go...
Was he just an anomaly in the toy line? What's this, by the way?
Oh, that's some weird Decepticon they made up for the story who basically rams through things. He's not rammed yet, but he's basically some kind of pneumatic hammer type character.
So that's what the sonic weapons were for the...
Yeah, for it's not him, it's a different character. You've got an entire planet full of Cybertronians that could turn up at any moment. So they're not going to know all
ones
of them.
that just run through things.
Yeah. But this is basically suggesting that the Autobots weren't Primus's first attempt at creating life, and the first version went wrong and went underground.
Literally.
And they call them demons. Literally.
Okay.
You know, they look like this.
I am Groot.
Yes. So you've got them running around.
So what's the deal with those bad boys then?
They just basically will rip apart any Cybertronian that comes close to them.
Because they are the equivalent of humans and angels?
Yeah. Essentially.
Okay, so tell me about the angels that are referred to as demons. What were they mechanical as well?
Yeah. It's all mechanical life on Cybertron.
So what went wrong with that version of the
It was never really explained. It was just basically, it was as if Primus experimented and didn't get it right the first time, and then when the new life first rose, the Autobots first rose from planet Cybertron, he infused them with the Matrix, which seemed to make them not go off the rails so quickly.
Okay.
Fallen Star, this is where we have a little dig into Starscream's psychology.
Okay.
And find that he's feeling, because he's been dead and brought back a couple of times by this point and so on and so forth, he's feeling self-conscious and thinking that people are laughing at him, when it turns out they're all absolutely terrified, because in the comics Starscream was a vicious killing machine bastard.
So why keep bringing him back? Because he was
vicious
killing.
So you've got these Autobots who basically have seen Starscream. They basically do the Autobot equivalent of crapping their pants, run away, and Starscream thinks that they're laughing at him, so he goes for them and wipes them out with no effort whatsoever. Starscream versus 3 Autobots, and the 3 Autobots have no hope whatsoever. And he just wipes them out, and then he suddenly realises, actually, no, I do actually kick ass. It's basically, he's redeeming himself in his own eyes. Longtooth is another pretender, and he has this whole thing where he's got a little bit of the Matrix because... Oh
look, I have something incredibly precious and special and should never let out of sight anyway. So let me open my chest and show the entire world exactly what I hide it. Okay.
But that runs into this story where Optimus is
he's got crack.
Yeah. Optimus has been sent this part of the Matrix because he's not got the Matrix anymore at this point.
So why does he want a part of it?
He's been sent a little bit of it to try and resurrect. These are basically stasis cubes with all sorts of stasis pods with half the Autobot army lying in storage because they can't repair them. So I mean, they're essentially in comas.
Okay. We have stasis pods. We're all good.
And then he's basically looking at who should I revive.
Big chunks of metal need stasis pods.
Yeah. Who shall I revive? He goes through loads of different characters, blah blah blah, and then review some of the logs of what's been happening when they've been battling Decepticons on Earth, and realises the ecological damage that's been done, and uses that part of the Matrix to try and
repair Earth.
Okay. Which is a very Optimus Prime thing to do. The Void. See, red alert. This is the time frame he suddenly turns up back in. He's in the far future after Transformers movie. I say far future, it's now the past.
Look, another female Transformer.
What's us?
Yeah.
So
the pink female Transformer.
Yeah, pink and white female Transformer. It looks like she'd break in the wind, which makes no sense whatsoever. Then we have mental Rodimus because he tried to absorb the power, he's tried to absorb Unicron into the Matrix, and it's corrupted the Matrix, and the Matrix takes him over. So, yeah, so he's basically trying to lay waste to all the Autobots until he goes within himself and essentially takes back control, which is essentially that storyline. The artwork's not so great for that one, to be fair, it looks a bit weird. And then we have Perchance to Dream, which was again a black and white story, where a version of Galvatron had put several Autobots to sleep, who just happened to be the Autobots who have been reissued as classics that year.
Handy that.
Handy that, yeah. So you've got...
Oh, that is terrible.
What is? What's wrong with that? That's what Ironhide looks like. He's a box fan.
It's really bad artwork.
Okay. So there he is, knocking through.
Really bad artwork.
Well, bearing in mind it was originally drawn in black and white. It's been coloured specifically for
I suppose it might look better.
Yeah. You've got Jazz running around with Sunstreaker. Sunstreaker's more worried about the fact his paintwork's been damaged than anything else. The fact that Jazz is rolling around in the dirt is irrelevant. I've damaged my panels. So basically Galvatron's trying to find a character who's
it's the
got
equivalent to having
flaw.
eczema. They worry about these things.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we have Silverbolt, who's trying to hide the fact that he's a Concorde with a fear of heights. Yeah. And then Galvatron makes an error and they all wake up and they're waiting for him when he comes.
So a flying robot that's afraid of flying.
Yeah.
Why would a robot be afraid of flying considering they had to come through space to get here?
And then we go into the American comic again. So, can you tell?
Yeah.
Optimus has been basically mangled. So Prowl's taking command. I don't know where Jazz is at this point, but Prowl's trying to take command.
Why have they tried to make him look organic?
Who? What? Where?
Yeah, Prime as his line in bits. It looks
because
terrible.
it's been melted.
Okay, it still looks terrible.
It doesn't look organic because there's wires hanging out and stuff.
Yeah, but all the pink sludge is...
That's because it's been melted.
Yeah, I know, but it's vaguely flesh-like. It's not...
And then we get Prowl and Grimlock going at each other and all this very not Autobot stuff going on. And it ends up with Grimlock wandering off.
Okay.
In his usual style because he's fed up with Prowl. And then he locks up. And he gets stuck and can't move. And then some of the demons from before turn up because this Primus has been killed. The balance of the planet's been upset, and basically it looks like the Cybertron's trying to rip itself apart, essentially. So you've got all sorts of weird and wonderful things going on. While Starscream's planning on re-energising those characters, and then suddenly Grimlock goes into a chrysalis state and then bursts out in a form where he can't transform. This is when the Action Master toys started turning up. Transformers that couldn't transform. So yeah, really stupid idea that was.
And what was the concept there?
Basically, he'd absorbed a new power source that made him super powerful, but stopped him from transforming. And then he gave it to the other Dinobots, and then gave it to other Autobots, and so on and so forth. And it was just like, no, that's not. So more arguments between Prowl and the other characters. And Bludgeon steals space cruisers, runs off and starts laying waste to worlds behind the Autobots' back. And then if the Autobots finally discover this and go after him, which is the last part of the original G1 comic, which is in another volume.
Yay!
Yay! That's from issue 250. Yeah, 250 with the British comic. Chance to Dream covers, which are quite nice. So on and so forth. So it's continuing on. It's basically, if you like G1 Transformers, you really could do with getting hold of all of these. I've got a feeling some people will be getting the G1 reprints.
The quality looks good.
Yeah. Some people will be wanting the G1 reprints from the 80s, some people will want the Dreamwave stuff, some people will want the IDW stuff, some people will want all of it.
No, it makes sense to get all of it if you're going
to. And the fact that the volume numbers tell you where they are in the run helps immensely. Yeah. So volume 1 obviously, up to about, I think volume, somewhere in the low 20s would be the original run, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I'm enjoying them.
Well, yeah, it makes sense if you're a Transformers fan that you'd want to know the entire... And getting hold of all the American issues, the English issues, the crossover bits would be a nightmare. So this is nice, same as the Star Trek version of this is. Now, although different company, obviously. But the concept is nice, and the books are nice and shiny, and the artwork seems to be well represented within, the print quality is nice. So other than the fact that you're having terrible luck with the customer care, pretty good series. It's something I would suggest ordering from your local comic shop for Hidden Planet, somewhere like that. Yeah. Rather than relying on... Here's a question. Do you feel, because you've read a few of these, you've read the others, do you feel that these are good value for money? A hardback for $9.99?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with them.
I can't really go wrong. I mean, some of them are thicker than others.
Yeah, but that's due to content. Due to the amount of content available for them. Exactly. That's not due to them being skimpy.
No, I would accept that, and it just depends on how you chapterise the stories.
Yeah.
But the trade paperbacks are more than this. So
there you go.
You can't really knock it, and because of the way it's being produced, they can do them at $9.99. I can't complain. Really can't complain. It's fair play.
Well, that's all his opinions on this, but we'd love to read yours, so please leave them in the comment section below. You can subscribe to us here on YouTube, and you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching, and good night.
Bye.